The reason you lose is because you've been programmed to lose by all of your experiences throughout life. Winners are programmed, losers are programmed. I was programmed to be a winner in any scenario because I was raised in a very specific way. You were not. So we're going to start at the absolute beginning of why you've ended up a loser, because most of you never self-reflect. You're dummies who never look in the mirror and say, how did I end up where I am? Why am I the person I am? Why do I believe the things I believe? You don't self-analyze. So you don't understand how your own mind works, which means you don't understand why you are where you are. Because before you make a move on the chessboard, you need to analyze your position. By analyzing the board, the smartest thing you can do is to try and take your strengths and play them off against your weaknesses. So if you're poor, you have hunger and motivation. What you have to do is fix the things you don't have. You need to get around rich people. You need to get a good network of people you can trust who have a lot of money. You need to find a teacher who's prepared to teach you how money really works. That's the first thing. The second thing, and your biggest problem to fix, is your monumental laziness. And you have to understand that you innately are lazy. You innately lack hunger and fire. You're innately afraid. You're a coward. You lack the balls it takes in many scenarios to get rich or die trying. That's the truth. People in the ghetto already have the fire. Those brothers already have fire. Yeah. They're already prepared to do anything it takes. You need to ignite the fire inside of you. You need to make sure there's something inside of you that's going to get you motivated like a poor person's hunger, because you've never felt it before. Because the poor don't need motivation. The poor understand what it's like to be taken advantage of. And the poor understand what happens when you have no money and no food. You don't. You're not poor. You have food in your fridge, but you lack motivation because you're a dipshit. And that's why you've actually had a very bad start in life. You need, and this is very important, not only do you lack fire, you lack imagination. Because when you're poor, let me tell you something poor people do all the time. You imagine. My brother and I used to sit around and talk about what could be if only we managed to get it out. How it would feel to have this car. How it would feel to be in this place. How it would feel to be famous and internationally renowned. How it would feel to go to Saint-Tropez and live on a yacht. How it would feel to be able to fly on private planes. How it would feel to not have to worry about food anymore. My brother and I used to imagine for hours. We used to talk about it. We believed in this version of reality where we somehow made it. Not only do you lack motivation, you lack imagination. And that's why it's very important. You need to start believing you are the man, even if you're not yet. Before I was world champion, I knew I was going to be world champion. You have to believe these things. We had imagination and we had hunger and fire. You don't have those things. That's why you're fucked. Do you not understand? It doesn't matter how tired I get when I fight. I'm never actually tired because I am so desperate to hurt my opponent. I am more desperate to hurt him than I am tired. In all realms, forever. That is the hunger and motivation. That's why boxers start poor. That's why fighters are poor. There's a different mentality they're born with. They imagine being champion. They're prepared to do anything it takes. They have hunger and fire inside of them. There's no middle-class champions. None. So it's extremely important you develop your imagination as well as your fire. And I'm saying this to you because there's a whole bunch of you who don't realize how badly you've failed. You need to start imagining what actual freedom is. You need to start seeing beyond the confines of your comfort. You need to start developing the hunger it's going to take for you to elevate to the highest possible echelons and stop being enslaved by your comfort, because that's what you're enslaved by. It's extremely important. Your future is the result of your daily actions. You're defined by what you do today. Lazy now, loser later. Get to work. Now, what have you done today which is going to positively affect the outcome of your future? When have you sat and imagined your dream life? When have you self-analyzed and self-reflected and tried to work out where you've gone wrong to end up such a mediocre specimen of man? Why can't you go down to the dealer and buy a brand new Lamborghini right now? Why not? Is it a lack of money? Is it a lack of, what is it? Is it only money? Are you afraid if you buy one you'll get robbed? What is stopping you? Have you even thought about any of these things? Has it even crossed your mind? It's extremely important, gentlemen, that you understand the chessboard and understand exactly where you are so you can make changes. Most of you are not actively building a future. You're not actively trying to build the dream life that you want to have. And then you expect it to just appear. Do you know why? Because when you were born in the middle, your parents put food in the fridge. It just appeared. The heating was just on because it was cold outside. We knew you never had that problem. That's why people at the bottom, we understand intricately. We understand this viscerally. We understand that nothing is going to come to us unless we go out there and get it ourselves. And once you have that, you have endless motivation for all things. That is extremely important. You have to train a fighter, a boxer. Do you want somebody who has poor nutrition and poor sleep, but endless fire inside of them, someone poor, to turn them into Muhammad Ali? Or do you want somebody with a good bed and good food, but lacks fire? Which one do you think is going to become a champion? Which boxers have become champion historically across time? Were they rich men? Were they from middle class incomes? Or were they from the ghetto? Were they from the bottom? It is all a test. It's all a test. You watch me because I perform flawlessly, and I'm not afraid to pay the price. You'd be up here with me if you were brave. When I say brave, and this is a genuine question, when is the last time you made a brave decision? When's the last time you took a brave route and did a brave thing? And I want you to actually take a few seconds and ask yourself that question and answer it. Bravery is a muscle like every other one that must be flexed and used to grow. Bravery is extremely important, and Bitcoin's a super easy answer. What's the worst that can happen? You lose your money? Do you think people like us were afraid to buy crypto once we worked it out? Once we were told about Bitcoin at $800, do you think we were afraid to buy it because we might lose money? Do you not understand? People like us don't give a fuck. That's how we end up here. Oh, you're lacking hunger. You're scared to be brave. You're lazy.
I don't want to put my $6,000 into Bitcoin. I might lose it.
I might lose it. Because you lack bravery. So, if you've done nothing brave that you can mention instantly off the top of your head, then what you need to do is something brave quickly. I'm not quitting. That's called handing the prize to somebody else. There are a certain number of prizes in the universe. There are stars that exist. They're just out there. There's prizes. So the people at the bottom have something that you don't have. It's hunger. You need to now, and this is the actionable, guys, you need to cultivate a lifestyle which is going to endlessly give you fire inside of your heart so that you never struggle with motivation ever again. You need to cultivate that with your social circle. So you need to be around motivated, hungry men. You need to cultivate it with the decisions you make. If smoking weed kills your fire, don't smoke weed. If drinking booze kills your fire, don't drink booze. Everything you need to do. If drinking booze gives you fire, then drink it. I don't care. But you need to sit down and look at your life and say, what's going to make me as motivated as possible? Is it developing an imagination to imagine my dream life? I'm sure it is. Is it having a social circle of people who are always trying to elevate? I'm sure it is. Is it having a girlfriend who supports me in all of my dreams? I'm sure it is. You need to then sit there, look at every facet of your life, analyze it one by one, and develop a lifestyle which is going to give you endless fire, because without it, you are going to lose. You are broken inside. You are lacking a fire inside of you, because once you get that fire, you become invincible. The fire inside of your heart makes you hard to kill, truthfully. It is the fire inside of your heart that makes you uncrushable. The kind of cockroach which survives a nuclear explosion. It is extremely important that you are never in a position where you lack motivation ever again. It is extremely important that you never fuck up an opportunity that is handed to you ever again.
Men winning isn't luck, it's a choice. Every single day, you decide to be a king or a nobody. Nothing's holding you back but you. Your laziness, your excuses, your weak mindset, that's the enemy. I'm handing you the playbook. Design your life to ignite endless fire, hunger, and motivation in your soul. Every move, every habit, every thought needs to be engineered to make you a beast. Take that raw energy, that burning desire, and blast it into the universe. You want rain? Don't sit there praying like a coward do a damn rain dance. Will it make clouds burst? Maybe not, but God's watching, and he respects action over whining. He's not blessing the submissive, the ungrateful, the ones who let his gifts rot. Show him you deserve it. Your discipline shapes your destiny, and destiny bows to the man who fights for it. If you've known struggle, discipline's easy, it's in your blood. But most of you, you're soft, coasting through life, expecting handouts. That's why my brother and I, starting from the gutters miles below you, have lapped you in every metric wealth, power, respect that should burn you up inside. We had nothing, no connections, no silver spoon, just hunger and grit. While you were sleeping in, scrolling TikTok, waiting for life to happen, we were grinding, bleeding, building empires. You started ahead of us, and we still smoked you. Why? Because we chose to be relentless. We chose to design our lives around fire. Every meal, every workout, every conversation fuels our drive. You're eating junk, skipping the gym, hanging with losers who drag you down. That's a choice, and it's why you're losing. Wake up, men. You're in a war, and the battlefield is your mind. Every day, you're either building a legacy or digging your grave. Design your life like a machine built for victory. Start with your environment. Cut out the trash. Ditch the friends who whine, the habits that weaken you, the distractions that steal your focus. Surround yourself with men who push you, who make you feel small so you're forced to grow. My crew, we're wolves, not sheep. We train like gladiators, eat like kings, talk like conquerors. Every choice down to the music I blast or the books I read is calculated to keep me hungry. You're listening to sad rap, eating Doritos, and wondering why you're depressed? That's on you. Change it. Curate your world to spark fire in your chest. Action is everything. God's not handing out blessings to guys sitting on their asses waiting for a miracle. He's watching, judging, rewarding the ones who move. I learned this the hard way. Back when I was broke, scraping by, I didn't wait for permission. I worked 2 jobs, saved every penny, bought my first Bitcoin at $800 when everyone called me crazy. I didn't read white papers for months, I acted. That coin's worth millions now. Why? Because I jumped on one leg, took the risk, showed the universe I was serious. You want to win? Stop overthinking. Stop researching, move, risk, fail, learn. The universe respects doers, not dreamers. Let's talk discipline. It's not sexy, it's brutal. It's waking up at 5 a.m. when you're exhausted, hitting the gym when you're sore, working late when you'd rather crash. But here's the secret. Discipline compounds. Every small choice, skipping that beer, reading a book instead of Netflix, cold calling a client, builds momentum. One day, you look up and you're a titan. My brother and I, we weren't born rich or jacked. We built it, brick by brick, through years of saying no to comfort and yes to pain. You're not disciplined because you've made life too easy. You've got no struggle, no fire. Fix that. Manufacture hardship, run 5 miles in the rain, fast for a day, cut out sugar, shock your system, and watch your hunger grow. You should be pissed off that we surpassed you. We started in the dirt, no advantages, no handouts. All we had was an obsession to win, to do whatever it took. You had a head start, better schools, better connections, better excuses, and you still lost. That's not just failure, it's embarrassment. But here's the good news. You can change it right now, today. Wake up and decide you're done being a loser. Design your life to make you unstoppable. Set goals that scare you $10 million, a shredded physique, a global brand, then break them down. Want to get rich? Learn sales, not theories. Want to get jacked? Lift heavy, not light. Every step needs to scream purpose. The universe is a meritocracy. God's got a pot of blessings wealth, respect, power, but he's not giving it to the lazy, the ungrateful, the weak. You want the rewards? Prove you're worthy. When I was a kid, I saw guys with nice cars, big houses, and I burned with hunger. I didn't cry about fairness, I worked. I fought in rings, closed deals, built systems. Every dollar, every muscle, every win was earned. You're not entitled to shit. The world owes you nothing, but it will give you everything if you show up and fight. That's why my brother and I are at the top, waiting for you to catch up. We're not special, we're just hungry. Your mindset is your weapon. Most guys think small, act small, stay small. They see scarcity bills, stress, limits. Winners see abundance, opportunities, risks, rewards. Shift your lens, tell yourself you're destined for greatness, even if it feels like a lie. Fake it until it's real. I did. When I was broke, I walked like a millionaire, talked like a mogul. People laughed, but I kept moving. Now they're begging for my secrets. The secret? Act like you're already there. Design your life to reinforce that belief. Dress sharp, train hard, speak with conviction. Every choice should scream, a king. Time's running out, men. Every day you waste is a day you're not climbing. The top's lonely, but it's worth it. My brother and I, we're up here, looking down, waiting for you to stop making excuses. You're not stuck. You're choosing to stay small. Change it. Build a life that fuels your fire. Cut the dead weight. Chase the pain. Embrace the grind. God's watching, and he's not impressed by your complaints. Show him you're worthy of his blessings. Move now, or stay a nobody forever. The choice is yours, but the clock's ticking, and we're not slowing down for you. Look at history. Every great man acted, not waited. Alexander conquered empires, not because he studied war for a decade, but because he marched. Elon Musk built rockets, not because he had all the answers, but because he started. Action breeds results, hesitation breeds regrets. That Bitcoin guy, he's still reading, still broke, while I'm cashing out. Don't be him. Design your life to force you into action. Set up systems alarms, mentors, goals that keep you moving. Surround yourself with men who demand more from you. That's how you win. You've got one life, one shot. Why waste it being average? My brother and I started with nothing, and we're lapping guys who had everything. That's not luck, that's hunger. That's designing a life that fuels relentless drive. You can do it too. Start today. Build your fire, take your shot, and claim your destiny. We're waiting at the top, but you've got to earn your spot. Move or you're already dead.